channel. I'm Dr. Jones, but you can call me Quin. I'm a 27-year-old applied mathematician with my PhD in systems modeling and analysis. For my trade, I create mathematical models of real-world systems, particularly in computational biology. But for fun, I create lifestyle blogs about staying authentic while elevating and transforming throughout life. So I talk a lot about systems, productivity, healthy habits, womanhood, and general life lessons. So if that's your vibe, I would definitely stick around. But today I am here for episode 2 of the postdoc diaries, where I'm just chatting with you about how I'm feeling in this life transition. I am currently about 5-6 weeks out from my postdoc position starting this fall. I am a research postdoc at a medical college, so I'll be doing mathematical modeling or computational biology, and also some possible wet lab, scientific field, some scientific work. I have a lot of feelings about staying in academia because I am, again, like I said, at a medical college, at a university. So I am still going to be in an academic position. And if you've seen the previous video or my career video, then you know that I actually was looking for industry jobs. I was not interested in staying in academia whatsoever. So I want to talk today about just the anxieties I'm feeling, because I think that's definitely a real part of this experience. And high key, when I looked up postdoc anything on YouTube, on TikTok, the PR is down bad. Like, I have not seen any positive things about postdoc. I've had to read through threads to find random oh, well, I enjoy mine. So I'm having a lot of anxiety low-key about staying in academia and wondering if I made the right decision. So I just kind of want to talk through some of those with you, and maybe if you're doing one, you can soothe these, or maybe we can just freak out together, because I know every job comes with its cons. We are in America, at least I am, so there is no perfect job. I do not dream of labor. So what have I heard about postdocs? I mentioned in the previous video that I did some networking interviews with people that I've met throughout my grad school experience. These people have either graduated from my program, are professors, or work at labs, and these are people in positions either that I want to be in, or know people that are in positions I want to be in. And so I have heard a lot about postdocs from people specifically when I was asking about what route I should take. And I've also heard a lot just from, or I guess I've seen a lot on the internet in a bad way. I've heard that postdocs are worse than grad school, that they're even harder and worse on your life and things like that. That's scary. I've heard actually that they're really hard to get, which I did not realize. As I also mentioned in the previous video, I was given this opportunity through some networking that I had done, and I did not actively look for this role, so I had no idea they were such rare, special occurrences to get, that they were so beloved, yet with such bad PR. I do not understand. But I've heard that also about it, and I've heard that it's equally hard to do successfully because it is a lot of pressure to publish and do a lot of research, and so that is a big time commitment and skill commitment. Is something I've heard. I've also heard that people really don't like it being a temporary position, that it's not guaranteed work, so some people don't see it in the job way as, oh, it's due. So I've heard that about it, that it's not a real job, and so there's a lot of downsides, and you still gotta look for a job, which is hard, especially now. So these things have not painted a good picture of the experience. They have not. And so all of those things concern me off top. That's concerning, that there's so few positive things to say. That's concerning. Second question, why didn't I want to stay in academia? Well, if I go off my experience, which of course I am, it was not fun. I am in STEM. I am a mathematician. This is a very male-dominated field, and it's a very white-dominated field. So there are a lot of men in a lot of my undergrad classes and graduate school classes. In undergrad, there were maybe 5 girls out of a 30 people class, and in grad school, I would say there was definitely more half and half with women and men, but everyone else was white. So definitely still a minority in academic spaces, especially as a mathematician, and therefore very unfun. A lot of microaggressions, a lot of covert threats, a lot of discrimination, and like trying to isolate me, a lot of underestimating me or underpaying me, and me having to literally fight for myself. Yeah, not fun, not something that I would endure willingly. I am not a change them from the inside gal. I'm about not dying from high cortisol and stress. So I was not looking to stay in academia. No, I was not. The only reason, like I said in my previous video, that I did choose this position is because it's in a university, but it's in the medical college, and there is no teaching responsibilities. So it's strictly research, and it's not as interaction heavy in the way that it is when you're faculty teaching type vibes. And then also what I did not enjoy about being in academia is the low pay. I have friends that are in industry positions and they make 80, 90, 100 plus $1,000 a year. In grad school, I made $25,000 a year. I will say I am over the halfway mark to that 100K, but for someone with a PhD, there is an expectation that I should already be at the 100K. And therefore, where I am, even though it's like higher than anything I've ever made in my life, it is still considered low pay for my station, like someone with a PhD. So these are the reasons I was not trying to stay in academia. But because my pay is higher than average for the average postdoc, and because I have no teaching responsibilities, and because it is a relatively diverse space, I feel like as a Black mathematician, I will be a minority everywhere I go. So I'm just kind of prepared to deal with that anyway. So that's kind of how I feel about that part. But otherwise, I feel like the other needs I have compromised on and still feel satisfied with. So, you know, those are soothing my anxieties, but those are very surreal about being in academia. I know there are things I'm just going to have to deal with the meetings and the, you know, being only 27. So many people were trying to not say doctor when talking to me. I know I look like I wouldn't be a doctor. Racism, ageism, I don't know. But no, I am. So, you know, let's not play. The third question is, do I have any anxieties about my new position? And honestly, yes, I do. And I deal with anxieties by making a plan, but it is important to first name the anxieties, okay? So let's just get them out the way so that I can then figure out how to manage them. One of the things I'm nervous about is the fact that my position is in Florida. I am excited about Florida being in the South. I've lived in Virginia for the last 5 years, so that's been moderately cold, and I'm excited to be back in the heat. I love the heat, it's my favorite. So I'm excited about being in Florida in that way, and that I'm also closer to Mississippi than before, my home state. But also, I looked up the political information about Florida. It does not leave one excited as a queer Black woman, okay? No, it does not leave me excited. So I'm nervous about that, but something that comforts me is the fact that the God that protected me in Mississippi, protected me in Virginia, he will protect me, she will protect me, they will protect me in Florida, okay? So that's really all I can do about that. I live in America. There is no state I could visit to avoid racism, as I will recounted. So it's just an anxiety I have about any position, but specifically an academic one. I'm also very confused about what anti-DEI means. Like, are there DEI courses, classes that they're not doing? Like, I don't know what that means. Like, anti-Black people? Like, I don't know what that means, but I'm seeing it a lot of places, so that kind of scares me as a Black person. So I don't know, just a lot of concerns about the political leanings. I am relatively radical for most people, I suppose. If you don't understand, it's Free Palestine. Yeah, I am concerned about staying safe, but I know how to prepare. Also kind of anxious to change softwares, like for what I use for my skill set. I've been doing MATLAB in my graduate school education, and I also use RStudio, but I've heard that in the department I'm going to, they use MATLAB some, but they primarily use Python. So I will have that kind of transition. I'm kind of preparing for that by starting in the summer to learn Python better, but even still, I will be like a novice in that way, and I like coming in like high level peers, so I'm anxious about that, like that learning curve that is inevitable in all new positions. I'm anxious about that because I'm already an outlier in some ways, and so there's a lot of pressure I feel to impress and be good. And I know some people find that like bad, but I'm a bit excited about it. Like, I enjoy being impressive. It's like, it's one of my favorite character traits actually, but where I am currently, it's making me a bit anxious. So now I just have to make a plan forward so that I can deal with these things. That's how I do things. That's what suits me. So I feel like now that I've named these things, I can move forward about what I'm excited about for this position, which I will actually cover in the very next video for the postdoc diaries. If you want to see how my life is going right now or recently, I would check out one of my vlogs, or I would head to my Instagram and check out my story. I post nearly every day, and I hope to see you in my very next video. Bye, friend. I hope the glare from my glasses wasn't too bad. I don't know how much I can do about that. I'm not in my own spot like I was before. So there are some things we just have to deal with until we move. But there will be moving vlogs. I've signed my lease, baby. I have ya.